Grayzone Warfare is a good game. It's not a great game. I do not do these types of videos often, but I believe it's important to shed some light on how creator opinions can be influenced not just in Grayzone Warfare, but in many titles in the space today. Before we get into my thoughts on the Winds of War update, let me explain clearly the tactics developers use to coerce positive coverage of their title. First of all, there will be two tiers of creators, but often it's not really clearly defined. You're going to have advertisers whom are supposed to disclose their hashtag ad status, whether it be on Twitter or YouTube and even Twitch. This is per the FTC guidelines. Many creators do not do this. An ad benefit can range from payment, free products, flights, etc. The other and more common tier is exclusive behind the scenes content and even game access, similar to Grayzone Warfare's VIP program. This is where developers absolutely leverage up-and-coming creators to do their marketing. I am not saying this is a bad thing. It's nice. I'm currently in many of these programs, so I do not want to sound hypocritical here. But as far as myself, I'm financially set. I don't need any type of YouTube growth or money. I just do this for fun. So I can kindly tell someone to fuck off if I don't agree with how they're running things, or if I just happen to not like the people in general. Even if the game is helping my channel a lot, which you guys know Grayzone Warfare did just that. Other creators, again, I'm not faulting them at all. They are the good guys here, but they might rely on some YouTube income or other social medias to some capacity. This is where genuine, organic, real opinions dissolve, in my opinion, for many of them, not all of them. They are seeing increased traffic, money, success, with behind-the-scenes access, maybe even cool in-game items, recognition, etc. So when it's time to give feedback or make content on an update or an event, they have hard choices to make. While it is not an ad per se, it is still a huge benefit to their channels to have access and the perks that they get to cover the game. Echo chambers start to develop, and developers can start to subtly remove people from access if they do not like what they say. I know of 6, including myself, that had this happen with Grayzone Warfare. Usually it's a removal with a warning or subtle power trip to remind the creator of their access and privilege to be a part of something. Then they might be let back in if they are lucky. It's just weird, man. I'm just going to be honest. It's a dynamic that's just weird. If the developers start to control non-advertising creators, I know for a fact, even to this day, it's happening in Grayzone Warfare. And I've been out of it almost a year now. It isn't all the developers, of course. It's a select few that run the program. If you're in it, you know who I'm talking about. So yeah, big issue. Not all devs do this. Not all games do this. But those that do, mixed with creators that can't afford to be honest, and larger ones who don't even play the fucking game, not adhering to the FTC guidelines on YouTube, I don't know, man. It's a big fucking mess. But yeah, man, I just wanted to break that down for those of you who do not know how the game works with being, mid-tier, even larger tier creators in regards to video games. So yeah, now let's hop into my unpaid, zero perk opinion on the 0.3 Winds of War update. I've played a couple hours, and I will say this, the game has gotten a lot better with performance. That's probably the first thing that I've noticed after coming back, even before I got to try 0.3, which again, I did not get a key from their program. I got a key from a friend that happened to have an extra. But yeah, man, I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. I think it's the gameplay loop, and it's always been this way. I think it was fun in the beginning because it was fresh, and it gave a new, take on the extraction shooter. And for those people that say, it's not extraction shooter, go look at fucking Steam. It's labeled as an extraction shooter, but it's open world at the same time. I'm going to get to what I think can save Grayzone Warfare soon, because it has a huge identity crisis, and the gameplay loop is just, man, it's fun from a PvE perspective. It's fun to go do the tasks and progress, maybe every update put in 20 hours or so, but it's not really a main title for me and many other people. It's I don't know. But yeah, the performance is better. They have a lot of new guns that sound just like all the other guns that they've had. There's no audio identity with the different types of weapons you can use. I was using 300 Blackout. I tried the SVD. I do really like all the containers you can get, the different tasks that unlock cool stuff. That's really the progression, I think, is there. The progression in the task lines is there. I know they're going to be adding to it as the game develops, and that's probably the coolest thing. The new cops, the POIs, the weapons, the gear, all that stuff's cool. New NVGs. Again, the content, I'm not saying the content isn't coming along, but I think people who are trying to play and enjoy this game and understand they can't land on what exactly it is. It's not risky enough to be a hardcore extraction shooter, and it's not open world survival-ish enough to capture some of the Rust or DayZ players. And I think that's the biggest gripe I have with Gray Zone Warfare as far as retention, because the numbers aren't looking good. I'm going to make a bold prediction that by August 1st of this year, they're probably going to have around 500 concurrent players. After selling a ton of copies, man, making millions of dollars, it's like, I don't know, man. Yeah, I played it. I don't know if I'll be playing it that much when it comes out. I wanted to. I was really looking forward to it with the boys to hop in there. And I might still do it just to see what some high volume PvP is like around the cops. But here's kind of my take on what I think should happen. I think Gray Zone Warfare, to fix this identity crisis and really set into a gameplay loop that is going to capture one side or the other, I think this is the first option that I would potentially go for. All helicopters would go away. There would be no helicopters anymore. When you go out into the world, it is a long journey. It is a high risk journey. Maybe do this after some balancing of the AI is done. Now that we have the cops, you can get back to your body, but you go out into the world. You start every time you load in, you start at your fob. You go out into the world and you do this progressive journey of going through your tasks on foot, high risk, high stakes. When you get back on, you're in a new server and obviously back at the fob. But I would utilize these cops as almost, POIs to capture to make it an open world survival. I would play even heavier on the medical system, hunger, hydration, and make it a PMC DayZ. That is, I think, what I would go for. I would get away from the extraction elements of this game because, quite frankly, the extraction elements aren't hardcore enough, I think, to even compete with Arena Breakout. Some of these new upcoming extraction shooters like Arc Raiders, Hunger, Active Matter, and especially Escape from Tarkov. It's not going to touch any of these titles, and we've seen that. So before anybody in the comments starts to tell me, oh, it's early or oh, it's this, no, like the core gameplay loop is there, and I don't care how much content they add, how good the game looks when Ground Zero finally arrives. I don't think any of that is going to fix the core loop and the identity crisis that Gray Zone has to compete with these other titles. They won't rank. Just to be clear, to kind of back my point up, Gray Zone Warfare is doing Twitch drops. This is a huge marketing push for 0.3, and you would think you would have a lot of retention and a lot of people playing for that. When Tarkov and a lot of these other games do Twitch drops, there's a lot of volume in the category of the game on Twitch. But on the first opening evening on Saturday, it was getting outpaced by Old Market Simulator. It was getting gapped by games like Ebola Village, a game called Granny, and a bunch of other titles that I have never heard of. Again, this is supposed to be like Premiere now. Like, they've made their money. It's been a year. They're doing Twitch drops, big content marketing push. And yeah, I was looking at this Sunday night when I was making the video and it had like 2,000 viewers. Again, this is supposed to be like the big thing that's like everybody's getting hyped for. So yeah, man, if 2,000 people are watching on a weekend, I don't see 500 players during this summer at all, quite frankly. And again, I'm not trying to be like negative. I'm just trying to be honest, truthful. Again, I have no incentive to, to say anything otherwise. But yeah, man, the guns, dope. The guns, really cool. The task lines, really cool. The items you can get, really awesome. The visuals of the game, pretty good. Audio needs some work, but like all of the game looks amazing. No one was arguing that. I think the issue is the core gameplay loop. And again, everything's there. Either make it, there's two options. Like I said, open world, DayZ, take away the helicopters, or maybe make it like a special expensive perk or something. But the little birds will be very rare, and it's an open world survival. That sounds a lot of fun. That sounds like I could play that, get into that like DayZ. But I think the AI would need to be balanced a little bit and stuff like that. Or make it a traditional extraction shooter. Have the open world where you can explore maybe in a PvE aspect, but when you load up into a helicopter, you are deploying into a section of the map, whether it be Ban Pa, and it ain't gotta be just like the POI. It can be, like 3 kilometers around Ban Pa, Hunter's Paradise. There's just these POIs, they can now be maps with a time limit, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, with 30 PMCs, 20 PMCs from other factions that you're going to be going against when you queue up. They could never do this because they're not going to have the player retention or the player base to do that. But I think that would be a cool idea to give it an identity to latch onto so they can capture some of the market. I know there's outliers. Listen, I know there's guys out there. Don't come here and say, I got like 5,000 hours again. That's great, dude. I'm just, but again, look at the Steam charts. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the general, public and, the general extraction shooter or tactical shooter fan. But yeah, I think the easiest path to this is open world survival. Take away the extraction element all the way. Leave the tasks, leave your lore, make your rogues, make the survival element even more intense. Use the cops now so people can spawn and capture and have a place to go back to if they die, where you can have a stash. You don't even have to have bases, but let the cops kind of play that role every time you spawn in. And I'm telling you, I think the game would actually have a little bit of a weight. And I'm telling you, the game, I think it would breathe fresh life into the game, because now we have a gameplay loop that people can familiarize themselves with and have fun doing so. But right now, man, it's PvE, a low risk extraction shooter. When you do get into the PvP, it's like, whatever, man. I don't know. I know I share this opinion with many others, and I just can't quite put my finger on it, but I do think it is some type of an identity issue with Gray Zone Warfare. So guys, that's all I have for you. I hope you appreciate the honesty, because at the end of the day, that's what I'm always going to be. And if you enjoy this type of content, please like and subscribe. Join the Discord below if you do like the tactical FPS and extraction genre, and I will catch you on the next video. Thank you.